Ooh, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to NBA Jam on the Nintendo Game Boy. Let's press start. Let's enter our initials. You already know. Well, we're not going to be entering our initials. We're going to be entering the first three letters of my name. C-O-N. I don't have any passwords. So let's get it started. We have defeated none of the NBA teams so far. However, that should be changing, if you know what I mean. We could pick any one of these wonderful NBA teams. This is before Charlotte moved to New Orleans, and then that became a whole thing. This is before Vancouver was added, and this is before Seattle moved to Oklahoma. So there are some minor differences between when this game came out and today, if you know what I mean. We're going to pick... I picked Utah in the scrapped episode, and I picked John Stockton. He was fun, but, you know, that episode was a lot of threes, and I don't know, I just wasn't really... I wasn't really proud of it. Just because, I don't know, I thought it was a little boring. However, that's going to change today, if you know what I mean. We're going to pick the Portland Trailblazers. I'm going to be Clyde Drexler. Teammate's going to be, I think that's Cliff Robinson. It did say, well, the name Robinson did kind of give it away. Win the tip-off. All right. Oh, shoot. I got pushed over, man. I got pushed over twice. What the hell is happening? This is a team of thugs, man. Score is tied. However, I'm going to go for another dunk right here. There it is. So NBA Jam on the Game Boy is pretty similar to all the other NBA Jams. You could go into turbo mode by pressing the start button, which is a little weird, but it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. And then, you know, if you're holding start, that's not going to go in. Are you kidding me? All right, they're going to go for a 3. And I'm not trusting that, but, you know, they missed their threes, which is really nice. Score is tied. We're going to go for 3 of our own. Why the hell not? Drexler misses. And they're going to get 2 points. All right. I'll say another issue besides just pressing start is kind of weird in a game and it doing something other than pause. All right. There we are. I have the ball, and I'm going to dunk it right here. Perfect. Thank you for the steal, Robinson. Anyway, besides that, I think the main issue is just you don't see the players' names. And since this is the Game Boy, the hardware is a little worse. So I'm unable to see who has the ball at what time. I know my team. I know I'm against Dallas, I believe. I wasn't really paying attention. I think it's Dallas. I think in this game, the first team you play against is always Dallas. There are only 8 seconds left. Let's get a quick dunk. And now they have to shoot from across the court. And they're going to miss. Perfect. All right. Game's tied at 14. End of the first quarter. Coaching tips. We're going to skip that. You know how it is. We always skip the tutorial and then get upset that we don't know how to play. That's how you do a Let's Play, right? Anyway. There we are. 16-16. It does kind of suck that we don't have possession. However, Robinson is going to get a nice steal and give us the lead. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. All right. Robinson does attempt a three-pointer, which probably shouldn't have been attempted, but that is beside the point. It's still early on in the game. We can afford to make some dumb decisions. I'm going to just keep driving towards the net at every possession because, it's working and we're getting some nice dunks in there. There we go. So long as my opponents keep missing their 3-point shots, we should be pretty good. Because basically right now we are trading 2-pointers. Just because, my defense isn't the best, But watch this. Who needs defense when you can do that, man? When you're Drexling it out. Wait, I'm playing as a guy whose name ends in ER, and I didn't even make one I hardly know her joke. I don't know. I think I'm pretty proud of myself. There we are. There's less than a minute left before halftime. All right, I'm going to go for the rebound. I get goaltending. I pressed the wrong button. I meant to pass, but I have. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to explain what happened. I have my pointer finger on the start button. And then my middle finger is on either A or B. And then I guess sometimes I just get confused. Go for a 3-pointer to end the quarter, and that is not going to work because they are going to steal. We're down at half. We got 13 field goals. Robinson has 1. And then these guys are... all right. This is Dallas. All right. Jackson and Mashburn are pretty even. However, we could always come back. You know how it is. Go for a layup, but it is not going to work. We're going to regain possession. And then, you know what? Let's go for a 3. I said, let's go for a 3. It's not going to work. We're going to steal from the dunk, which is really nice. And then let's go for another 3. All right, there we go. That, my friends, is how you regain a lead. All right, that's perfect. Get the rebound and then shoot it. What the hell was that? Thank you, Robinson. Pass it over like it's a Jewish holiday. I get it, like Passover. I don't know. I was proud of that one. But I guess we'll see where the chips fall. Oh, speaking of Portland, never mind. Oh my God, we are locked in right now. Our defense is just not letting them get past. And we're leading 39-30 right now. That's like 3 3-pointers. 39-32. That's still a 7-point lead. Not bad. If we get this dunk, it'll be a 9-point lead, but we don't get it, which is really sad. So they could turn it into a 2-point lead. No, not a 2-point lead. That's a 4-point lead. What the heck is happening? I can't even do math. My mind's going at like a mile a minute. There we are. Answered their 3 with 3 of our own. There's only 15 seconds left. We have the ball. We're going to shoot. 10 seconds left. 44-35. Headed into the fourth quarter. 46-35. 3 seconds left. Headed into the fourth quarter. I somehow got the ball back. Oh my goodness. This game, there's already a lot more happening. We are absolutely on fire. Coaching tips, a jump shot pass. That could be pretty good. However, I don't know. We're just gonna play and see how it is. And we steal the ball again. Oh my God. 48-35. Dallas is just absolutely like collapsing or combusting with this. Keeping up the fire lingo. Speaking of which, I was thinking about this earlier today. Sink of 3, by the way. Sorry to go off topic. However, there wasn't really a topic to go on. This game was going like a mile a minute. Now you see why I prefer playing baseball games. Just because they're gives me a lot more time to think. Aside from this is awesome, by the way. Don't get me wrong, but it's very hard to commentate when things are going crazy. Anyway, speaking of fire, I was thinking about this thing I saw like years ago. Shoot it, Robinson. You know, we have such a big lead. I think we can afford to just go for a bunch of nonsense. However, we're not going to go crazy. Anyway, like I was saying, speaking of fire, I was thinking about this thing I saw like a few years ago. And it was like this like art project that a kid did. And you know like those books that like kids make where it's like the pieces of paper that like get stapled together? There we go. Give me the ball. Let's shoot a 3. See how it goes. All right. Anyway, it was you know like those books kids make where it's like a bunch of pieces of paper stapled together? There was this one that I saw posted to the internet, and it was like this it was like really messed up for like a kid to come up with it. It was like this like really like evil looking bird. And I think it was like torturing someone. Like that's the only way I could like describe it. And then like I don't know, you like see like the bird in front of like a burning building, and then it like has a little speech bubble that says like I'm gonna end you in like a fire or something, man. And I don't know, man. I can't find it like anywhere now, but I swear it was real. So I'll leave that off for a closing topic. If you know what I'm talking about, this like bizarre children's art project about birds burning people, drop it in the comments. Anyway, Portland wins. Pretty commanding lead, might I add. I got 23 field goals. Robinson was very involved on the defensive side. 6 steals and 1 rebound. You love to see it. And then here's how Dallas did, but does anyone really care? Final score 56-48. Oh my God, you love to see it. Let's press start again. Here's our stats. Here's our password. Our next opponent is the Minnesota Timberwolves. I might continue this later. You can enter my password if you want to continue from where I left off. See you guys on the next adventure. Sorry I was going like all over the place, but you know, I liked it. I liked recording this. Very fun, very busy. You know how it is. See you guys on the next adventure. And maybe you will see the SNES version in the future so we can compare.